stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. The next item on our agenda would be the election of officers.
Okay, thank you.
And it would be the election of the council president. We will postpone the election of the council pro tem until we have had a full council members present. As your council president, I did not put my name in to be council president this year. I've enjoyed this year of being the council president, and I'm very thankful to my colleagues for giving me this opportunity to serve as council president last year and through this particular year. I have quite a few accomplishments, things that I have accomplished, and I feel very good about the things that I've done that will improve the city of Southfield and also help out our residents and our businesses and everyone else that visit the city. I have a list of accomplishments, but I'm not going to read that list and for the sake of time. But let me just say that since I've been on council, and it's one of our more senior individuals here in the city, an elected official, stated that over my period of time being here, I've been the most impactful first-term city councilman that city person they have seen. So I take that as a real good compliment. I'm results-oriented, and I do get things done, and I'm proud that was being recognized. And as I said, you know, I'm glad to have been the council president. I'm glad to thankful for my colleagues for that privilege. And with that, we will go back to the agenda. The floor now is open for nominations for the city council president.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Lloyd Cruz for president.
Support.
Okay, been moved and supported that Mr. Lloyd Cruz is nominated for council president. Are there any other nominations? I declare nominations closed. We will now call for a vote. All in favor of Mr. Cruz as city council president, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Cruz, you are the council president. I will relinquish my seat to you, and happy. I guess also who is taking pictures, they should capture the fact I'm passing the gavel to Mr. Cruz. Oh, okay.
Should I photobomb?
Got a couple here.
This is for the calendar for next year.
No.
Photo prize?
One more for us there.
All right, thank you. Well, Mr. Cruz just told me I could sit wherever I wanted, so I'm going to sit over there. He's already in charge. I'm going to sit right here.
Good. And thank you, Mr. Brightwell, Councilman Brightwell. I think we all would agree. We appreciate everything you've done this past year as president. You've done a wonderful job moving forward and helping us advance the goals of the city that we've set forward at the beginning of the year. And hopefully I can come in and continue doing on the same work that we set out on for the next couple of years, actually. So Thank you very much. Let's give him a hand, too, for all his hard work.
Council President Cruz, I'm wondering if, at the beginning of this meeting, if we could have a moment of silence for Timothy Workus.
Yes.
Mr. Workus passed away unexpectedly last week. He had a massive stroke. For many, many years, he served on the Southfield Veterans Commission and was also the lead on the CERT, our citizen volunteer emergency preparedness team.
Absolutely. Can we please just take a moment of silence for Mr. Workus, please? Thank you. Moving on with the agenda, our next presentation is the Southfield Arts Commission report. Mr. Crowe?
Yes, through the chair. If you recall, your council's directive was to have more interface and interaction between the boards and commissions and the city council. Last month, the planning commission and the city center boards presented to the council. Tonight, we are scheduled to have the Southfield Arts Commission report to council. Ms. Dolores Flagg, our chair, and Mr. Kyle Bryce, our planner one, will probably do the heavy lifting, and I'll have Ms. Flagg introduce other members of the Arts Commission that are here tonight, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions the council has after the presentation.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Brightwell going out, as well as Mr. Cruz, and other members of the council, Mayor Siver. It gives me pleasure to acknowledge my colleagues who are here, who are part of the Southfield Public Arts Commission. Yvonne Belinsky, if you would kindly stand so that you may be recognized. Bob McTaggart, who is the vice chair, and Jay Reeves. If there are any other members that are part of the councils, please stand. If not, we are a body of 11, and we are diligently moving forward. And with that said, I would like for Kyle to carry on and present to the council members our Southfield Public Arts Commission presentation.
Good evening, council. Congratulations, Mr. Cruz. So again, this is just a brief overview of what we've done in the last year. The Southfield City Council was established in 2016 primarily to manage the Northland art after the closure of the mall, to find places to display the art, figure out what to do with it, as well to grow the city's assets in art and to promote public art throughout the city. We meet every the third Tuesday of the month in a public meeting. We are composed of 11 Southfield and Lathrop Village residents, and our goal is to create a stimulating environment that reflects and enhances the city's heritage, diversity, and character through public artworks integrated in the architecture, infrastructure, and landscape of the city. We are primarily funded through donations, public and private, and through the public art requirement, which was an ordinance passed also in 2016. Dolores recognized the members that are here with us today. There are others. In addition, I'd like to recognize the mayor, Terry Crode, Dave Ewick, the city librarian, and Terry Fields, director of Parks and Recreation, for also serving as city liaisons in addition to myself. The purpose of this exercise was also to go through the council visioning session and apply those goals towards our own commission. So first and foremost, what we primarily do is place public art in the city. So I'm just going to go through what we've done in 2018. This is The Prophet by Sorrel Etrog. It was formerly at Northland. We added a granite cladded base to it, and we put it outside of City Hall. On the right, you can see what it looked like back in the studio when it was originally created. We have The Crowd by Gio Pomodoro, also at Northland. Currently, it is at 2000 Town Center, and you can see it prominently from the lobby. This also required a restoration and a new granite cladded base. Notably, we installed Red Pole Park along Northwestern Highway. We had the ribbon cutting this August, and it is intended to be the first of a series of outdoor rooms. Most recently, we installed the Peacock by Arthur Kraft in the library circle. This required extensive renovation on the little feathers in the peacock, and we had to construct the base for the figure, and it's now flying high. In addition to the Northland Art, we realized that what we have been doing in Southfield and advancing the arts has attracted outsiders. So this is actually a donation that came to us, the Pioneer Family 2 by Andreas Drenchers. At council's suggestion, because of the metallic farm implements of which it's constructed, we put it at Mary Thompson Farm. We have some upcoming installations as well. The Pegasus, which a series of Pegasus figures that were in Northland are currently out of state undergoing restoration. They will be coming back and joining us, I believe, on Northwestern Highway. And most notably, and something we're very excited about, is Moby Dick, which had its own fountain in Northland. It's currently undergone a restoration, and it's getting ready to go into the library fountain, which is also being completely restored. We've also been partnered in several events. Most notably is the Kimmy Horn Jazz Festival, which was a spectacular success for the city. Through the effort of the mayor, we all took a part in working at the event as parking attendants. The event was free, but the proceeds went to the Arts Commission. We raised about $10,000, and it was a great success. It was a lot of fun, and we are looking forward to doing it again next year. In addition, we had a display at the Michigan Modernism Show. Specifically, we outlined the Lily Saarinen exhibit that was also at Northland Mall. We kind of displayed the damaged pieces intentionally to raise awareness for what we do, how we're trying to take these damaged pieces, fix them up, and find a new home for them. We also completed the Southfield Art Walk, which is a brochure which you can find up at the front. It outlines a path that you can walk around our municipal campus and check out the various pieces of art. And significantly, we established the Friends of Southfield Public Art, which is a nonprofit. This is used to secure maintenance and funding for restoration of the pieces. We found a challenge was that corporations were not exactly excited about donating to certain entities, so we found that they much prefer to donate to nonprofits. Finally, we keep an active social media. We were involved at the 60th anniversary. We just try to keep our presence known and out there and do what we can to promote public art in the city of Southfield. That's the end of the presentation. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
Just to add to the presentation, one of the things that we're moving forward with is adding the educational outreach to the public arts. Because of the changing of superintendents, they finally, if I'm not mistaken, there has finally been a superintendent who is going to be part of the Southfield Public Schools. Some of us have begun speaking to members of the Southfield Public Schools about outreaching and getting them involved with the Southfield Public Arts. So take note of that we will be and have been working with the Southfield Public Schools. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Council, any comments, questions?
Very informative, very informative. Thank you, very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Mandelbaum.
For Red Pole Park, I know that we applied for a grant to try to enhance it with some sparkling lights.
Right.
Have you heard back about that?
Yeah, unfortunately, we did not receive the grant, but we did come under budget, and it's scheduled on the City Center Board agenda to come up with the remaining funds. So we're hopeful that they'll approve that in December, and we'll have those lights installed, but there's no additional funds from the city.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Brightwell?
Yeah, this is a very excellent presentation, and I think this presentation is very valuable and is useful for council, our audience, and also all our citizens. And all through next year, I worked with Mr. Cruz with respect to making sure we got this process rolling for all boards and commissions in the city of Southfield. I just want the residents to know that when you tune in, you will be getting also a council meeting, but you will also be getting educated on what the boards and commissions will be doing or doing in the city of Southfield throughout 2019.
If I may speak, one good thing that we should take note of is that we were recognized, and I'm quite sure all of you are aware, perhaps, that we received the Keep Michigan Beautiful Award and part of the Southfield Public Arts as well as the Bird Garden. So with that said, you know, we are moving forward with inspiration, the fact that we were recognized for such a young organization that we are, but more importantly to know that we're still moving forward, and thanks to our mayor, the vision that we will carry forth with presenting the public arts for the city of Southfield.
Great.
Through the chair?
Yes.
We have one last matter of business. As promised during our fundraising campaign, those boards and commissions who donate at a certain level to Red Pole Park receive a model as a token of our appreciation. And I'd like to ask if the mayor would present that to the chair of the commission at this time.
Absolutely.
I gotta get a picture of that.
Oh, for me? Thank you. All right, will do. I'll give it back to you when we get the lights on there, right? That's two, right.
Yeah, we got.
You gotta take it.
We got
Do it
that.
again.
One is enough.
Yeah, we got two. I got that one last week.
This goes to Dolores.
The reason why we take pictures is we're keeping an archives of all of the events that we have been.
If you wouldn't mind, could we ask the rest of the Arts Commission board members to come up?
Absolutely.
And we'll take a quick picture.
Any members that like to come join in on the picture, come on up. Great. Any other comments from council on this item before we move forward? All right.
Great presentation.
The next item on the agenda is the appointments. We have just one appointment, the reclassification of Don King as Deputy City Attorney.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to you, Councilman. If I could call Ms. King up to the podium and her grandson as well. At this time, it is my pleasure to request that this honorable body reclassify Ms. King from Assistant City Attorney for the City of Southfield to Deputy City Attorney. I've known Ms. King for, gosh, I'd have to say about 15 years. And after Ms. Ward Witkowski retired, Ms. King stepped in and stepped up to the position of interim acting city attorney. She did a great job, and I fully recommend her for this. And she will be the go-to person in my absence.
I'd like to make a motion that we reclassify Don King to Deputy City Attorney.
Support.
It's been moved and supported that we reclassify Ms. Dawn King to Deputy City Attorney. All members that are in favor signify by saying aye. All right. Any opposed? Congratulations, Ms. King, to your new position. You want? I'm sorry. We're going to swear you? Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
I do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of this state,
the Constitution of this state,
and the city charter,
and the city charter,
and that I will faithfully perform the duties of the office of Deputy City Attorney
and I will faithfully perform the duties in the office of Deputy City Attorney
in and for the city of Southfield,
in and for the city of Southfield,
County of Oakland,
County of Oakland,
and state of Michigan according to the best of my ability.
and the state of Michigan according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I think you need to sign the book
gotta
here.
sign something.
And even though you're no stranger to us, we still like to have you come up so we can congratulate you, as well as your grandson, who told me before the meeting today he wants to be a senator. I said, all right, we're gonna have to, so he's already in the right place. Yeah, right. All right, we have a set of meeting minutes that need to be approved.
Also moves, Chairman.
Support.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the special meeting minutes of October 8th, 2018. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It's been approved. We'll move now on to the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms.
may I
Taylor.
please pull items D, E, and F for discussion?
Ready? D, E, and F.
Yes, please.
Okay. All righty. First of all, consent agenda item letter A was pulled at our earlier meeting, so we won't be discussing that tonight. Agenda item B, the authorization to approve contracts with the contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for group insurance stop loss coverage. Some background on that is the City of Southfield's current group insurance program with Blue Cross and Blue Shield operates as a self-insured program. In the arrangement, the city pays all incurred medical and pharmacy claims, and in addition, pays an administrative fee to Blue Cross and Blue Shield to handle the program. In order to protect the city from catastrophic large claims, we also have coverage through Symetra for what is called stop-loss coverage. Under the stop-loss program, any excess claims beyond $250,000 per contract in one calendar year are not charged to the city. For this reassurance or excess loss insurance, the city pays a monthly premium to Symetra. The financial impact on this would be, or what we're asking you to do is to select an alternative stop-loss carrier that's expected to save the city $204,000 as a result of the stop-loss and administration fee and the reduction for calendar year 2019. Consent agenda item C, the purchase of a citywide budgeting software. The City of Southfield's annual budget is one of the most important documents created. The budget is a communication and benchmarking tool that reflects the City of Southfield's priorities, policies, and controls regarding the allocation of resources among the many city departments in order to continue to provide a high level of service to our stakeholders. The Fiscal Services Group, in conjunction with several other larger operating departments, including Parks and Recreation. The Fire Department, Information Technology, and Public Works has reviewed 2 leading budget solutions to achieve the following objectives: to reduce the complexity of the budgeting process by decreasing the number of manual steps, reduce or eliminate reliance on Excel for both budget creation and subsequent analysis, implement a single system database for all budget entry, approval, and reporting, integration with the current financial systems, achieve accurate expenditure forecasting and personnel cost modeling, provide end users with a simple, user-friendly tool to create the budget and related reports, and provide real-time results for communication and among departments, city council, and the city of Southfield residents. Fiscal impact of this purchase, the total for the first year cost of the software is $148,500, which includes 3 particular modules that will be used initially, implementation of the training. Initial funding will be provided from the equipment revolving fund and ratably charged to the operating departments in future years as city council may approve. The annual maintenance charge beyond the first year is $21,425. Then we'll go to item G. Agenda item G, household hazardous waste agreement with Resource Recovery and Recycling Authority of Southwest Oakland County. The City of Southfield and the Resource Recovery and Recycling Authority of Southwest Oakland County have jointly provided household hazardous waste collection services to city residents for a number of years. This program has helped prevent toxic materials from entering area waterways, water tables, and landfills. The household hazardous waste collection service provided by Recovery Resource continued to be beneficial to Southfield residents and to the environment. The current agreement expires on December 31st, and the city recently received an agreement document for 2019, 20, and 21. Funds are going to be provided in the amount of $27,500 for the purpose of 2018-19 sanitation budget, which is funded by the annual rubbish charge and will be requested in future budgets as City Council may approve. Agenda item H, resolution for governmental bodies performance and identification for Michigan Department of Transportation. During its normal operations, the City of Southfield Public Works Department occasionally must perform work with the Michigan Department of Transportation's right-of-way. In order to do this, we must annually apply for a permit and provide a performance identification resolution and/or valid certificate of insurance. It is appropriate at this time for council to adopt an updated resolution to accompany next year's permit for work on state highways application to the Michigan Department of Transportation. This resolution includes the designation of staff authorized to sign permits for necessary work within the state right-of-way on behalf of the City of Southfield. There's no fiscal impact. Agenda item I, revocation of industrial facilities exemption certificate for the real and personal property under Section 15 of Public Act 198 of 1974. On October 27, 2015, City Council approved an 8-year new real and personal property tax abatement, PA 198 of 1974, as amended for Erlinger Automotive located at 23300 Northwestern Highway in Southfield. As approved, proposed to this, Erlinger proposed to invest $2,050,000 in the construction of approximately 80,000 square foot warehouse in addition to the existing manufacturing building located at 23300 Northwestern. Also proposed was the investment of an additional $1.75 million in new personal property beginning in 2015 through 2021. Excuse me. There is no fiscal impact on this item since there is no value being added during the 2-year construction time frame. Erling Klinger being a manufacturer, all personal property purchased as part of this IFT now qualifies for the eligible manufacturing personal property and is exempt from all local taxes, therefore IFT tax benefits. And then lastly, of the ones that we're going to go through now, agenda item J, receipt of bids on printing the 2018 annual report, 2019 calendar for the Community Relations Department. City of Southfield's award-winning annual report calendar is mailed annually to every residential and business address in the city. Thousands more are distributed throughout the year to new and potential residents and businesses. The calendar provides the community with a convenient source of important city information. Residents and businesses alike have come to expect a high-quality publication that clearly communicates the summary budget, city, community events, service, telephone directory information, and important key messages for the year. On October 31st, bids were received from 2 vendors. The lowest bid was received from Dearborn Lithograph Incorporated of Livonia, Michigan, in the amount of $27,597. The fiscal impact and cost of the 2019 calendar project will be approximately $34,000. Those at $3,400, including all design and photography, printing, and postage costs. Southfield will successfully defray more than half of the cost of the total project through $18,600 in paid advertising and sales. That concludes all of the items that we can take a vote on these right now, and then we can come back to the ones.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr.
I'd like to move
Vanderbond.
approval of consent agenda items B, C, G, H, I, and J.
Support.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we approve consent agenda items B, C, G, H, I, and J. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so we have 3 items to go back to, Ms. Taylor.
Yes, and it won't take but a minute. Only thing, through the chair, I'd like to request a budget for these items. We're approving over $1 million, and I'd just like to know how it's going to be dispersed. I mean, how they plan on spending the money.
We've actually already budgeted the budgeted amount when we adopted the budget. This is a grant reimbursement through Oakland County. It works on a reimbursement basis. So these are activities that our Career Center is already taken. Because the county's fiscal year does not start, these are federal funds to October 1st. Historically, the funding allocations come in after our budget actions.
Right, but you have a budget for what they're.
Yes, the total budget is the $1,891,000, and then you have the 3 different activities. The PATH grant is the $348,612, which was item D. The Wagner-Pelser grant was $128,380. And then the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Grant is $783,614. We typically get additional allocations as the years go through as the fiscal year goes through as well.
Okay, but what I'm asking is, what are we doing with that $783?
I'll turn, because each of these grants have a very specific activity relating to getting people back to work.
Okay, right.
Through our Career Center.
Right, through the Career Center. So I'm asking, do we, send them to school? Do we do training? We buy computers? I'm just trying to see how, is it salaries? Where is the money being allocated for? That's all I'm asking.
Absolutely. Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations. The Oakland County, Michigan Works Southfield office, as Mr. Zorn stated, receives funds throughout the course of the year. We believe that we might be receiving a small additional amount in addition to the dollars that are presented here We have approximately, depending on staffing, between 15 to 17 employees that work at the facility that we recently relocated onto the campus of Lawrence Tech. We have a team of people that work as a client enters the facility. We have bays of computers, and it's a drop-in type of service, so people can come in, seek their own self-guided. They can go online and work on their resumes, look for jobs, and they get advice from staff that's stationed in that space right when you walk in. We also have a series of workshops that are available throughout the week. And again, clients are welcome to come in and drop in and attend these classes, their life skill programs, their resume writing, those types of workshops that are available. They're either led by our Southfield staff, or we have professionals from a variety of businesses come in and offer those classes. So that's a core part of our job. We have clients that are mandated through unemployment to come in and seek additional services with career counselors, and those counselors will work one-on-one with the clients to go over what their overall objectives are, to help them make good decisions as to what courses and schoolwork that they should attend. If there's dollars that are necessary for them to achieve training and get certifications, the staff will make recommendation and will pay for those courses for them. If there's uniforms that are required in order for them to take those jobs, they're assisted with all of those services. So that's another component. And then we have another group of people that are, in order to receive additional benefits from unemployment, they take a 28-day course where they have to attend on a regular basis and achieve different objectives during that time frame in order to get certified. So we have a variety of different people. We have a team of employees that work with our business community to help fill vacant positions and to assist with job training grants for those corporations. So they meet one-on-one with the companies and their HR departments to assist with that. We also have people that are, I know someone from the Arts Commission was complimenting the Southfield Public Schools. The new superintendent has opened the doors, and we have staff at the high schools regularly meeting with the students to provide skills so that they can be prepared for the future. Again, those life skills and career counseling type of thing, one-on-one.
So what you're saying is that it's being spent on salaries and then training and education?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes. And,
okay.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Madam Chair, we can get you a further breakdown. I unfortunately I don't have that information in front of me, but for each of these, there is in the application a breakdown between wages, facilities, rental cost, and equipment.
Yeah, I mean, the rent comes out of those dollars. I mean, so there are some other costs associated with that and the salaries.
And I'm not asking for anything that you don't already have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I didn't see it
Sure, yeah,
when it came along with this, because it's required.
I do
when they're
apologize.
grants.
We've been this has been a similar type of thing, and when it goes through the budget process, I believe all that documentation was supplied with the budget.
Okay.
But I'm happy to share that information with everybody. You know, we're monitored regularly by the state and by Oakland County, so
Correct.
there's a lot of monitoring available.
That's exactly right. That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking for anything you don't already have.
No, yeah. And again, it was submitted with the city budget, and this is just, you know, at the time that the budget's done, as Mr. Zorn stated, we do not know what our allocation is, and so we do our best to stay in that framework.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you'll get that to me?
I would like to note, and we will get you that information, but it should be noted, there were previously 8 centers in Oakland County. One of this council's goals was to be the best center.
And
When
we
we
are.
relocated from our previous facility to the new facility, you became one of the first facilities that's actually in the country that actually sits on a college campus,
That's correct.
as well as you just recently were recognized.
We're a top performer we're the leading agency for Oakland County Michigan Works. Lisa has done an outstanding job of working with the staff, and they're working really hard, and so that was great recognition. We're also very active in a lot of the programs that are taking place. There's a big event on November 28th with the Southfield, with all of the school districts in this region, and so we have many staff that are dedicated. It's My Career Quest, so it's a really nice program.
And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just give kudos to Lisa, our manager there, as well as the staff there. They do a phenomenal job in getting people back to work. And as Ms. Freeman has indicated, we're actually a leader in working with the trade groups and trying to get more skilled trade people, as well as show new work path and career opportunities for our young people. Some of the things that are happening now with our school district and that, the other centers are trying to figure out how to replicate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions on either of those items? I entertain a motion for approval.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve items D, E, and F.
Support.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve items D, E, and F on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on, we have 3 public hearings this evening. The first one, item A, is a public hearing on the establishment of commercial rehabilitation district under Public Act 210 of 2005 at Greenfield Road. Ms. Freeman, you gonna lead us off here?
Mr. President, what we would propose is that we do a brief presentation and then at the conclusion of the presentation, we can hold each public hearing sequentially. If that
So you're going to
would-
present on all 3 items first and then
Yes.
go back? Okay,
Yes,
that's
if
fine.
that's
Fine.
works. At our COW and study sessions, as well as our Brownfield Redevelopment Authority, the Brownfield Redevelopment Authority has approved the Brownfield plan that was submitted, and we've also had prior discussions for the PA 210, which is being requested from Najer companies or Solo Company, which is also referenced in your book. Brian Najer and Fred Najer have been longtime members of our community. They're very active in our Downtown Development Authority, and they are in a situation now where they're really competing against our neighboring community, Oak Park, to retain Kroger in our city. The city staff is proposing that we utilize 2 tools. One is the Commercial Rehabilitation Act, PA 210, which would enable us, or City Council, to freeze the value of the property for up to 10 years, allowing their work to be reevaluated each year by the city assessor, and then after year 11, go into the brownfield reimbursement. The commercial rehabilitation program would enable the owners to capture $486,757 over that 10-year time. And so the first public hearing that we would be looking for is to establish the district. At this time, we're requesting a modification to the letter, but to establish the district at 23675 Greenfield Road, which is Cornerstone Plaza, where Kroger is located. The next tool that we would be looking to utilize would be the Brownfield Redevelopment Tool. This site has been deemed to be functionally obsolete. The Kroger's facility has not, the space does not meet their needs. And so in order to accommodate the new Kroger store, they would need to remove the obsolete unused space at the existing store and enlarge the space into the adjacent tenant space where I believe there's a Panera Bread, adding 7,000 feet to the existing footprint. You can see above that it's anticipated about $5 million investment to reconfigure the existing space and an additional $2 million to build out, to to enlarge the Kroger space, as well as to add gas and a C-store, and then to accommodate the retailers that are being pushed out from the existing mall to build an outlet. It would be approximately $2.5 million. So a total of $9.5 million of investment from the Nagers to reconfigure that space in order to accommodate Kroger's needs. I do want to say that the PA 210 would not affect the taxes that were being collected currently at that site. Again, they would be frozen for that certain level, enabling the owners of the property to reap the benefits of that. The eligible activities under the brownfield would total approximately $500,000 with demolition, site improvement, site preparation, and contingencies. And again, this would start at year 11, and it's anticipated that they would be reimbursed by year 17. Again, all of the reconfiguration of the site, it would be required to go to Planning Commission and back to City Council for your approval, should Kroger's agree to locate at this facility. And this would be, the main purpose is to retain those 66 full-time jobs. We would, they look to add an additional 10 jobs if this moves forward, and then there would be the 15 construction jobs. The owners of the property are very concerned about Kroger's vacating, and we feel that the loss of Kroger's would really be detrimental to the DDA and to the city of Southfield. This mall has been an important piece in our DDA and in our community, and has really fulfilled a large need in that area. And so that is the request before. So the first initiative would be to have a public hearing to establish the PA 210 district, and that would require a public hearing, and then following that, a public hearing to place the request within the district, and then to have a separate public hearing for the brownfield plan.
Okay. Very good. So.
And the owners are here, as well as our DDA director. I believe Al Sevas is still present.
Okay. All right. Very good. So our first, we want to open up the first public hearing, which is item A, the public hearing to establish the commercial rehabilitation district under PA 210. The floor is open for anyone who would like to have any comments on this particular item. You would have 3 minutes to speak on it. All right, then I will deem this public hearing closed. We'd like to move to item B, the application from Solo Company for commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate under PA 210. We'll open up the public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that is, we got to approve it first. Okay. Excuse me, then. Jumping ahead of myself then. All right. Al, did you have something you want to add before we?
Good evening. My name is Al Sevas. I'm the director of the DDA. I just wanted to continue to express my support for the Kroger project. And I know there was much concern this evening from the Nagers that a lack of action by the council would send the wrong message to Kroger's. And I think we try to reassure him that, in fact, when we received a signed lease, that we, in fact, would move quickly to move forward on the brownfield redevelopment. So, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
Did we have any activity on economic development A?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay,
We were just coming back. Yep.
I'll move the approval of public hearing, the economic development initiative.
Support.
Okay. All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that the public hearing on establishing the commercial rehabilitation district be approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now, moving on to item B, we will open up the public hearing for item B, which is, again, the approval of the application of Solo Company for rehabilitation exemption certificate under PA 210. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak on this matter, please feel free to come to the podium or the lectern, I forgot whichever one we call it. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing on item B.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move the economic development initiative application from Solo Company for a commercial rehabilitation exemption certificate.
Support.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the Economic Development Initiative application from Solo Company for commercial rehabilitation exemption. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This passes. And now, public hearing, for item number C is, we would like to open that up for the discussion around Brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing. The public hearing is now open. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to speak to item C, again, please feel free to step forward. Seeing none, I declare the public hearing closed.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move C, which is the Brownfield redevelopment plan and tax increment financing plan and
Support.
development and reimbursement agreement for Solo Company.
Support.
All right. It's been properly moved and seconded that the Brownfield redevelopment plan and tax exemption financing plan and development reimbursement agreement for Solo Company be approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Mandelbaum.
I'd just like to ask through our, to our economic development director,
Yes.
if you can keep us in the loop as to what happens with the Kroger site.
Absolutely. I believe that Mr. Nazier will be meeting with Kroger's in the very near future to share the outcome of tonight's meeting. And we were also sharing, some of the other positives of the city of Southfield, stressing our outstanding police and fire departments and the building departments and how expedited all of our services have been. And so we'll be sharing all of that information with them, and we'll keep you up to date on the future of this. I know that they're going to be very grateful that you took action tonight on these items. And again, I do want to just remind everybody that the economic development incentives are not in place if there's no activity. So if nothing moves forward, then everything is really null and void. So there's not a concern that we're doing something, and if there's not a project there, then there won't be any incentives. As well, we do have requirements that the owners of these projects sign agreements with the city that should they leave that location, that they would be required to pay us back. So all of those other things and all the other agreements would be moved forward.
So you just mentioned something that leads me to another question. If Kroger does decide to leave, so the Brownfield redevelopment plan is null and void?
So you approve the plan, but they are required to sign an agreement that will go through our city attorney's office.
Right.
And it'll be signed by the mayor and the city clerk. And so should they sign and say that they're coming here and then they end up leaving, they would be required, they either, within that agreement, it would stipulate what the requirements are. So they might have to reimburse us for everything, or, again, they're not going to be receiving any benefits until year 11. So it might just be completely voided out. And the same with any benefits from the commercial rehab.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr. Perkowski.
Yeah, Shelley, I'd like you to also give Fred those maps of what's going to happen to Northland so that they see that they're part of a substantial growth area.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yep. Anything else from the council?
Mr. Nazier's here, so perhaps he'd like to make some comments.
Yes, I'm Fred Nazier. I'm actually with the DDA also. I just want to say thank you to all of you for the support, and we're doing everything in our power really to retain Kroger. They occupy 55% of the shopping center, so if they do leave and go to Oak Park, I mean, it will be bad for Southfield, it'll be bad for me. But we're doing everything in our power to retain them, and I appreciate the help that you've given us. And Shelley has done a lot of work moving this along, and I hope it works well and we're able to retain Kroger. After this meeting, within a week, we'll set up a meeting probably after Thanksgiving and meet with the Kroger representatives and put our proposal next to Oak Parks. And the Kroger people stated that we're going to take, the cheapest price, basically. They want the best deal. I mean, they're in the shopping business and they're strictly looking for the best deal. So we're trying to make it as attractive as possible. We've offered a lot of incentives from, our portion of the deal, and Southfield is basically putting in half of it, and we're putting half, or somewhere in thereabouts. But we just want this to move forward, and we're going to do everything in our power to make it, the Kroger people stay here. And thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We definitely hope it works out.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
Just one item. Shelley, in some of those new proposals that are being discussed along Greenfield Road have to be very important to Kroger's. In other words, that there's growth in that area and a lot of commercial coming, so.
We have, with the DDA, met with Kroger's and shared our plans with them. And again, Mr. Nager is on the DDA board, and so we have invited them to, to see all of the plans, and we will continue to do that and share what future developments are coming forward, definitely, because it is important. It's a big generator for that site.
But there's some projects that are pretty close to closing, so it's not a pie in the sky.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Shelley.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on the agenda, we don't have any site plans today, so we'll go straight into communications. The first individual listed is Pamela Gerald, which I don't believe is here. Next person is Gerard Mullen, who I don't see either. So we'll move on to Patricia Vickers. Is Patricia Vickers here? All righty. Next up is Mr. Harold Hill. I ask that you give your name and address before you begin, and you have 3 minutes.
Hello, Council. My name is Harold Hill, 22300 Seminole Street, Southfield, Michigan, 48033. To Council President, Council members, Mayor, and officials, I stand before you because I wanted to talk to you today about one of our jewels of Southfield. And one of the jewels are Beechwood. Beechwood Golf Course has been a staple for many people, and it's been a place where people senior age can actually go out and have a lot of fun. I'm asking you about this directly to find out if there is a plan to close Beechwood Golf Course. It's been rumored, I hate to bring up rumors, but it's been rumored that possibly Beechwood Golf Course would close so they could sell it to do something else with it. So I'd like to find out from Parks and Rec if that's a rumor is true, because it has been very helpful for even like a personal friend of mine who is ADA compliant or ADA as handicapped. I hate acronyms, handicapped. And basically he has been scooter bound. Well, being able to go to Southfield golf courses, which many courses do not have ADA compliant carts for them to golf because they do not want them on the course, slowing the course. And that's a pillar of the community because we do have that accessibility. Many people don't know that, but since we're acquiring the status of age-friendly, I think it's imperative that we keep those type of courses open because it's probably saved his life. This is more like a physical therapy to him when he can't get out to do many other things. And as seniors, I see seniors on the course all the time, and this has truly helped. So I would hate to see one of our jewels go down, especially when we're trying to become more compliant for age-friendly because Southfield is getting older. So I just wanted to ask that question and say it would be a bad idea. More people will be using the course, and it's a pleasure to have that. I'm there every month. He's there every week. So with that being said, I'm down there. But I do have one other thing, Beechwood. We just spent millions of dollars on renovating Beechwood. And I vote at Beechwood, and there's a lot of steps. But one of the things I noticed is that a lady that could have been my grandmother was climbing down the steps backwards because she would not be denied for voting, and the elevators didn't work. The elevators didn't work, and Southfield's better than that. I mean, we just spent millions. What happened? And I think that's a travesty right there, because it was closed last year, and it just opened again. So I just wondered what happened. All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Mr. President, if I may,
Yeah.
Mr. Hill, our Parks and Rec Director is in the back, and I'm sure she'd be happy to discuss these issues with you. As far as the rumor about Beechwoods, nothing has come before our council that talked about anything about closing Beechwoods or selling it or anything like that. So as of now, there are just rumors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next individual is Ms. Pamela Harrison. Again, can you please state your name and address for us? And you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening,
Good evening.
to the incoming council president, Mr. Cruz,
Yes.
and the outgoing council president, Mr. Brightwell, to Mayor Siver, and to the entire council. Thank you so much. My name is Pastor Pamela Harrison. I am a resident of Imperial Senior Suites at 27600 Franklin Road here in Southfield, Michigan. Tonight, I declare the decree, the Lord hath said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. And that declaration is found in the book of Psalms, the 2nd chapter, the 7th and 8th verses. Tonight, I would first of all like to thank Mayor Siver for the quality time he has given me and the responses, many responses to my questions and requests. Thank you. Also to Chief Menifee, Fire Chief Menifee, and his entire staff, who has been excellent in meeting with me. Tonight, my request is for an investigation on the building that I live in at 27600 Franklin Road. With the research that I've done, I believe that our building has been denied a current certificate of occupancy, a current building inspection, and a change in building classification, which would allow our building to comply with standard city and state building codes. Many would and have disagreed with me, but as Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. And this is found also in the book of John 14:6. I say to the council tonight, I certainly hope that you would look into these serious matters concerning the safety of the residents there, the United States veterans who live there, those with special needs, and myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next request for recognition is Ms. Stacy Jackson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Stacy Jackson, 21685 Rougewood Drive, Southfield, Michigan, 48033. I am a Southfield resident and also the president of the Beechwood Acres Homeowners Association. I'd like to first thank the seniors and residents in my community that are with me tonight. Even though it's cold and brisk and late, they came out for this important cause. I'd also like to take the liberty to say if Governor-elect can start her campaign off saying, fix the damn roads, is it safe for me to say to the council, when are we going to really have a legitimate and sound conversation to fix the damn issue with the septic tanks. 30 days ago, our association and other presidents from associations spoke to this council with a list of demands. We have not been contacted by council in regards to having a sit-down conversation pertaining to those demands. I'd also like to start with another four-letter word: stop. Stop ignoring the accountability of this council to address this issue to its residents. Also, I implore you to stop saying that in 2016 you started up your efforts. The residents know that there was a decade's lapse in enforcing this ordinance. We know this. We also know that that recent letter that came out in September was not just a matter of someone changing the date and signing their name. As current residents just today have texted me images of that same letter that says, certify, inspection, or be forced to connect. There's no mention in this letter from the city saying that you have the right to replace or repair, or even a flyer that says, here are the steps to do so. It leads me to another four-letter word: liar, which it makes all of you look like when you evade the question, evade the conversation, and do nothing about our voices. The last one I'd like to leave with is a very powerful four-letter word: vote. I'm hoping that the same way I wore t-shirts, buttons, flyers, went door to door to vote many of you in, that if there is not a sincere conversation, I will put on those t-shirts, I will put on those buttons, and I will go back door to door to help vote all of you out. Because we elected you all to fight for us, to make those tough choices, answer those hard questions that I know are not easy, but it's your job to do. It's been 30 days. I have not received one call from you from the last time we all came. No mention of it at all. It's unacceptable and it's deplorable. Which leads me to my last and final four-letter word: feds. Perhaps maybe the residents should all collectively get together and reach out to the federal government to investigate this matter. I implore you to act now, because typically when you scratch a lie, you will find a thief. Thank you.
Our next request for recognition is Mr. Keith Harris.
How you doing today? I'm here on behalf of our residents, Beechwood, and All Race and Life Matter, P.O. Box 2769, zip code 48037. First thing I'm gonna like to say, it's only three people up here I trust, starting with Lenny Taylor, Lloyd Cruz, and Tanya Morrison. I've changed my opinion about a lot of elected officials since bringing this prosecutor back here. But not only that, dear, we're talking about budget. Do you know the first thing you do when you buy a house? They do a debt ratio to see if you can afford the home. That's the first thing they do. What this ordinance is doing is taking people out of their debt ratio. I just had a lady in my community lost her husband. Now the city hit her with a letter saying, oh, you got to connect. Now we got two residents in our community, they've been dewatering for 2 weeks. You cannot dewater in the wintertime. That's an extra added expense to the ordinance of your septic tanks. These appraisals that they're giving are a lie. When people buy their houses, they get a bathroom and a half, but you got to lose a bathroom if you got a walkout basement. Devalues your home. Devalues your home. If your septic tank is 400 feet away from the house like mine, I'm definitely 60 grand right there, not considering losing a bathroom and other things. Like I said before, you are killing our community, taking our seniors out of their debt ratio. I just met an older guy, veteran. He had to go back to work. And I'm ashamed of the veterans of this community who will not stand up for other veterans. I'm ashamed of the MLK task force using Dr. King's name but will not represent the issues that Dr. King would be standing for today. I'm ashamed if they walked this year in his birthday, because I told him before, Dr. King didn't always march, he stood. He only marched places where he couldn't get into. But where there's troubles like this in Southfield, we need to come together as a community and stand. if we can stand to keep a Walmarts from coming in, if we can stand against drilling at a church, we can stand to save seniors' homes. And we have to know the profit makers that's sitting on these these elected profit makers up here who are collecting as we lose our homes. Like I said, it's only 3 of you we trust up here at this moment. And we're asking you 3 to come pray with us and hold our hands through this time. Because they need it. Our residents need it, and other residents need it. I hope y'all heard exactly what I'm saying. We don't trust the rest of you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next request for recognition is Jody Harris.
I'm Jody Harris. I live in Beechwood Acres, and I spoke a couple of weeks ago as well. I still continue to have the same concerns about what's happening with our homes, with the way we're being treated, about septic versus sewer. I go to bed every night worried about my property value, if I'm going to be able to sell my home or if I'm going to be able to continue to live in my home. So Mr. Harris is a tough act to follow, but I feel just as concerned as he does about this situation. And I also would just like to, I was just wondering why citizens are left to speak at the end of these meetings and not at the beginning, because it's very difficult to speak late in the evening if you have children, if you have a job early in the morning, and it just sort of, I wonder if it's so that people won't sign up to speak, or they'll leave before they speak, or they just, I wonder if it's a tactic so that you don't need to hear what we have to say. And I listen to the meeting, and I see pictures in the wall of Southfield is the center of it all, and it's about business. It's a man and a woman with a briefcase looking at office buildings. And the whole beginning of these meetings are about presentations and businesses. And it really shows where the citizens stand in the city of Southfield. It would be nice if we could come up first, speak our piece, say what we have to say, and then go home to our families, get a good night's rest, and feel respect from our city council. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next request for recognition is Sonia Simpson Gardner.
Hello, I am Sonia Simpson Gardner. I live at 30575 Old Stream Street, and I am happy to have the opportunity to come in front of you guys. I've been having an ongoing problem with, I'm going to say the city because I brought this to their attention about issues I've had with the police department since June 9th of 2016, where I had an issue with a neighbor. I acted as a mandated reporter because I was a teacher. My name was outed by the police department, and ever since then I've been suffering from severe harassment from the police department. When I say severe harassment, my home has been broken into numerous times. I've had numerous issues where I have lost every single one of my jobs. My identity has been hacked. My computers have been hacked. My car has been severely violated. Now I'm having some serious issues with my home. I've tried to get help in any and every possible way that I can or could. I even went to the mayor. No one has offered to help me. I wrote letters trying to get help. My mail has been hacked. Every way or everything that I've tried to do to get help to stop the severe harassment has been blocked. I had no idea you could come and speak in front of city council until I ran into an outing with you now, President. I do thank you for telling me about the opportunity to come and talk. I think that I've been stopped in every possible way. But I am asking City Council to stick with me and to help me. I have a minor daughter that's 15 years old that goes to Groves, and I feel like all of this is causing me to lose my home. Instead of the police department and the city helping me, they are attacking me and punishing me for trying to speak up. I've asked for the Internal Affairs Department to look into the situation of some officers that have done some terrible things to me, but no one is helping me, and I'm asking for help. I am a mother bear, I have a daughter, and I'm sure if you had children, you would look out for your children, but I'm asking for help, and no one is helping me. And I've been talking with other residents, and I've come to realize a young lady by the name of Courtney Ritchie came to you and presented herself before you with a lot of the exact same similarities that I'm going through with the police department. So I am going to do my part, and if I have to come to every single one of your meetings, I will, to try to make sure I get help. But all of this has cost me over $50,000 in credit card debt, and I still cannot find a job because I'm being blocked. So I am asking for help, and that's why I'm here, because no one else is helping me. And I went to see the mayor, but he told me that the city police department was on the up and up, and he didn't believe that they were doing this. But I'm letting you know, we're dealing with a corrupt police department, and I'm not saying it's everybody, but I'm saying that it's some of the police department, and I'm asking for help. Thank you very much in advance for your time, and I will say that I serve a powerful God, and He is looking out for me, and I'm asking you for your help.
Next up, we have a request for recognition from Yolanda Hayes. Is Ms. Hayes there? Yeah, she is.
Good evening. My name is Yolanda Haynes. I reside at 24501 Kensal. Coming for you today, I guess, with a little bit of positive gratitude. I'd like to say, in light of this being Thanksgiving week, some things I'd like to be make aware that I'm thankful for in regards to the city. This past month rather, was the Halloween, whatever, October 31st, and I saw police officers out in the area, and I was very grateful to see that, and I thought that was very good. I know we are not a place where we have a lot of, well, not to my knowledge, a lot of things going on that day, but it was very nice to see the police department out and looking out for the neighborhood and things of that nature. And also the fire department as well. I'd like to give a shout out to them for looking out for us. And also the dispatch department that we so need and would like to still keep on both sides for that. And also last month we had an opportunity to have a celebration of sort at the Shields Pizza. It's called Pop with a Cop, but it was a little bit more than that. Interim Chief Bassett was there, and several of the police officers were there, and it was a very nice event. It's in the neighborhood. Lots of people came out, a lot of people from the Citizens Academy. Lenny was there as well, Councilwoman Taylor, I'm sorry. And it was a very nice affair, and I would like to encourage the police department to continue to do more of those, because it is so important that we build bridges within the community with the citizens, the residents, and the police department and the fire department as well. Also, this year, as every year, I try to bring my family out to the Veterans Program. And as my family, my kids get older, it's going to be probably myself just coming out. But we came out, my son and I, this year to a very different Veterans Program. And it was a very nice program. I'd like to give kudos to the mayor for a change up of things. It was very nice in the sense that it was a little different the way it was done. And I think this type of change is good. This is a time where I can say that this change was a good change. And my son and I had the opportunity to actually speak and say the names of our late and living family members that serve in the armed forces. And I thought that was an excellent tribute. Never been able to do that before, and just one of the things that I think my son will remember, it will also go down in history for all of those that did participate as well. And also on a different note, I would like to say that this Saturday is a Shop Small Saturday. And I just want to encourage the residents and you people on the council and especially you ladies as well to consider and remember to shop small in the small businesses in the city of Southfield as well. I know a lot of people go to the malls and go to different places, but we have lots of businesses here. And being a part of the Southfield Chamber, I have an opportunity to see some of those businesses. And I myself will be at Rolani's Boutique this Saturday and hope to see some of you there. But I think it's important that we encourage our people to shop in our city. Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving to you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Our last request is Mr. Gregory Keeler.
Greg Keeler, 25170 Circle Drive, Southfield, Michigan. The city of Southfield bonded $38 million to install sanitary lines into homes that previously did not have sanitation lines. Circle Drive and Lois Lane were two of those streets. Lois Lane got the sewer line put in. Circle Drive got the line put on the street but taken away. I asked the question, how much did it cost for this move, for this to be put there and removed? Never got an answer back. Circle Drive also had the unique sense of having Lawrence Tech wanting to build a dorm on this property. And Circle Drive came and said no to the city council. And they turned the building away from what it was at originally and put it back. Somehow, sometime around that time, that's when the sewer lines disappeared. That's when our streets were changed from Circle Drive, from residential to educational. Lois Lane was not changed. So I'm just pointing out to you the differences between two city streets side by side, but one didn't get it and one did. We talked about helping one lady on Circle Drive and her problem with her sanitation system. But we didn't talk about helping the vet, because the vet 2 doors down from it also had a failed system and also came to the city council and talked about it. But nobody has been there to help the vet for some odd reason. The values of our homes keep going up. But if I have not a sewer line, the price of my house does not go up. So my taxes should be going the same way my value is going, down. And since it's been 20 years, probably about $20,000, probably about the fee which they have asked for the tap-in to be reimbursed and everything else being free, should be done. Should be looking at all the other things. But I think if the city started losing money from the 15 houses that were knocked down and start adding that up, and maybe that person should be written up who decided to pull the pipelines out of there. Look at how much money they lost in taxes. Look at how much money they're losing as they start reimbursing everybody for all the years they have overpaid us, or we have been overbilled for this. And then I should not have to come before any board and say, my property value is not the same as a house that has a sewer line. That should not even be a question. Thank you.
All right, thank you. That completes our communications portion of the meeting. Next is council. Any members? Yes, Ms. Taylor.
Okay. First, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that came out and spoke tonight. We know how difficult it is sometimes to come before council and speak what's on your heart and your minds, but we do listen, and we do want to say thank you for coming out. I was going to remind everybody about Saturday, the small business shopping, but Yolanda took care of that, so I don't have to do that. I just also want to remind everybody that November is the Men's Health Month, and so they've called it Movember, and you can see a couple of signs on the doors as you come in. But it's also Prostate Cancer Month, so you have to remember that. And it's also pancreatic cancer month, so they're also checking that for the men as well. On another note, I wanted to let everyone know that the planning and the ZBA public hearings will now be taped for your convenience, starting, I believe, in November. Next week is the first one for the planning, and then they're going to do the zoning. Cable 15 will be running that, and it will also be on YouTube. And hopefully, by the end of the year, we will also have our programs on demand, where you can go and just do, at your convenience, look at the movies. That's something that we're working towards. So hopefully, by the end of the year. And I just wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I also wanted to say thank you to the mayor and the volunteers for the big rake. I understand it was great. The understanding was that you had a great turnout and everything was really, really good. I know you'll speak more to that. And I also wanted to also say thank you for the Veterans ceremony. Everyone loved it. They said it was great. All the feedback that I received was very, very positive. They loved the way it went this year. I was out of town along with Councilman Cruz and Councilwoman Morris. We were at the conference in the National League of Cities, so we were unable to attend, but I am looking forward to viewing it on a DVD. So with all of that, I just wanted to say again, thank you and happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Anyone? Yes, Councilwoman Morris.
Yes, I just, again, we were out of town, so I voted absentee. But I just want to say, give a big thank you to the clerk's office, all of her wonderful staff. I heard that we had record numbers for Election Day, and everything went very well at all of the precincts, so just hats off to our city clerk. Also, I do want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. It is a season of gratitude. I'm hoping that you have a wonderful time with family and friends. And yeah, I was going to say something about the small business too, but hats off to Yolanda. Thank you.
Mr. Fakasi.
Yeah, Fred, this thing that was at my table tonight, was that dispersed through the residents? 101 is the septic and sewage system,
Yeah.
101?
Yes.
Is it, or is this brand new?
Yeah, it is sent out, and it is now included in the letters. It's also available in the Neighborhood Service Center.
It does not say that you have to, you have to hook up in this thing?
You have the option to...
You have an option if it's working?
To repair your
if it's
system?
3 years inspection, then there's no problem.
Right. If your system passed inspections, no issue. The vast majority of systems are passing.
Secondly, Mr. Administrator, how are we getting around to the individuals who have all the leaves still on the ground? What is the last day for collection?
Well, we typically go to the end of November, but we already know that we're going to be going into 2 weeks of December. So I need to look at a calendar, so that it'll be that second Friday in December will most likely be the date that we can pick up leaves.
Okay.
The weather forecast, we're supposed to get a little bit of a break in the weather. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer. This has been an unusual, very wet, and now snowing November. But we will be going till the second Friday in December, and I can pull that up.
Okay.
Anyone else?
He's getting the date.
The
14th.
The 14th.
Yep.
All right, so that's the last day for leaf pickup,
Yep.
December 14th.
That's right.
As of
Right now, that's it. And we try to keep it going. It's a combination of the facilities being opened, but our current service provider does have an alternative location other than the compost facilities.
So that's the 17th, right?
14th. The last date right now would be Friday, December 14th.
Okay, got a lot of calls on it, okay.
Mr. Brightwell.
Go for it.
Okay. I want to commend the Veterans Commission and the mayor for a very wonderful program for Veterans Day. As the former chair of the Southfield Veterans Commission for 10 years, we had a program that was functional, but obviously it was needed revising. And I want to commend the Veterans Commission and the mayor for collaborating and coming up with a program, and that was fun. It was fun, really. It was fun. I think the individuals who participated felt that they were honoring their the individuals that they knew who were veterans, and so it was a plus, a paradigm shift. And I hope that I'm fairly certain that the Veterans Commission will continue to collaborate with that particular program. And also, while I was chairman of the Veterans Commission, Mr. Tim Workers, he was one of our original charter members of the Veterans Commission. I was one of the charter members back in 2004 when the City Council chartered the Southfield Veterans Commission. And Tim, along with myself, and it was 7 of us that chartered that commission. And Southfield Veterans Commission became known as the epicenter, well, Southfield became known as the epicenter for veterans because of the work of Tim Workers and also our entire Veterans Commission. So with that, I will just say that I hope you will keep Tim and his family in your prayers and in your thoughts. And it was sad that the day before we had Veterans Day, Tim had his episode at the airport. So with that, and I've enjoyed being the council president, and I'm enjoying stepping down and just being a regular council person again. And thank you.
Mr. Mandelbaum?
Thank you. Just want to let everyone know that next week we have the Southfield tree lighting, which will take place at the Berg on Tuesday, the 27th at 6:30 p.m. will be the city's tree lighting. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks, not next week. But also that the Southfield Police Department is partnered with the Southfield Public Schools for Operation Safe Kids, that they will have unmarked cars, or they have had unmarked cars watching people as they pass school buses. A neighbor of mine told me that last week, Thursday, her child was almost hit trying to board the bus as cars were passing, even though the red lights were flashing. So please be careful when you see those school buses. There's small children trying to board the bus, get off the bus, trying to get to school. So the extra 30 seconds will not hurt your commute. Last week, I also got to attend the Southfield Police Citizens Academy graduation. It was, I believe, the 7th year for the program. It is a great program they do annually for Southfield residents to understand the inner workings of the police department and everything that goes into all their training. I believe Mr. Hill was one of the graduates. And it was a very nice ceremony. It's always well attended, and so anyone who's interested, watch out for the flyers next year. Usually towards the end of summer, they start looking for applicants, and it's a great time. And lastly, just want to wish everyone a happy and have a safe Thanksgiving, especially if you're going to be out shopping. Probably Thursday morning, they're starting now, but please be safe in your travels and everything that you're doing over the holiday weekend. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'd just like to say just briefly, first of all, happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hope you have a safe and happy holiday. And I also wanted to say thank you to my colleagues here for believing enough in me to allow me to sit in this chair this year. So just know I don't take this lightly, and I'll be doing my best to help continue to move this council and the city in a good direction. So thank you all again. I appreciate it. That's it. We'll go on to the mayor's portion.
All right. Good evening once again. Thank you for the acknowledgement of Veterans Day. For those that were unable to attend or were not aware, we changed the format of the Veterans Day program and had individuals honor the veterans that are meaningful in their life. And the result was it was a much more personal program. and it was really about community. And so I appreciated all the people who came forward. I also want to give a shout out, besides the working hand in hand with the Veterans Commission, a lot of the work was done by our community relations staff, in particular Michael Mannion and Louise Carr. So I thank them. The big rake is still underway. We've had 2 days with and several corporations that were supposed to come during the week were rained or snowed out. We've done over 50 yards. We've have probably another 100 to do. So I'm making an appeal. We really need more volunteers. We've had, we didn't lack volunteers. We actually had the last 2 Saturdays, we've had 100 and over 150 volunteers show up, despite the cold, snow flurries, all of that. But we'll be out there again on officially on December 1st, showing up here around 9 o'clock, and volunteers usually work until 2. So I'm making an appeal again for volunteers to help us rake. We are appreciative of the students who came out from Lawrence Tech and the Southfield Public Schools. This is an activity that, although we organize it for Saturdays, if there's a group of people that want to come out and rake during the week, we have rakes, we have bags, and we have addresses. I also want to mention that next Monday, a week from today, is an organization will be out that I've been affiliated with for many, many years, the Southfield Goodfellows. We will have the old newspaper boy sales throughout the city on Monday following Thanksgiving. And we're looking for donations to the Goodfellows. Canned food drives are underway, as well as cash donations. All of the money and the collections are spent here with for Southfield families, to have them to give them a brighter holiday. The baskets that are prepared, turkeys are purchased if they're not donated, so that's part of what the money goes for. And then any leftover money from this also go towards toys for children for Christmas, or coats or winter clothing. So it's a very good cause. We've had the Southfield Goodfellows as long as we've had a city of Southfield. So please support them either next Monday or throughout the holiday season. And then finally, just like to wish, as everybody else, all of our Southfield community a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Administration, Mr. Zorn.
Yes, I have initially 2 orders of business. The first, I'm asking council to receive and place on file the emergency purchase report, which was discussed during our consent agenda, during our study session, indicating that we have, that pursuant to section 1.275, chapter 8 purchases, as city administrator, I authorized the emergency purchase to replace the engine in fire truck Life 4. The cost of that engine replacement from Tri-County International, Warren, Michigan, was $17,682.63. We're estimating the labor associated with installing it to be approximately $3,000. If you look at that, the high vendor, we saved just a little under $10,000 with that, or just a little under $9,000, I'm sorry. So if council could receive and place on file that emergency purchase report for the fire engine 4, I'd appreciate that.
We need a motion for that.
Also move, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
All those in favor, it's been properly moved and seconded that we accept, receive and place on file the emergency purchase engine to repair life truck for the fire department. All those in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
The
ayes
second
have it.
item I'm asking action for, as we discussed in our closed session regarding labor contracts, I'm asking council to concur and approve the contract with our dispatch supervisors union as we presented this evening.
Also move, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded that we approve the contract for the dispatch supervisors. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I too would like to congratulate the Veterans Commission and the mayor and the community relations staff on the Veterans Day event. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there for the whole event, but the portion I was able to be there for is people shared and honored the memory of a veteran. Some of them going back to the American Revolution, the Civil War, the World War I, various wars. As I sat in the audience, what I was most intrigued was it's interesting how that tied everyone in that room together, regardless of our background or ethnicity or where we've come from. It was that, the event, the fact that we had veterans in our family that united us as Americans. And I think that's so significant as we move into the season of thanks, and I like the way Councilwoman Morris used the word gratitude. A gratitude heart is everything. When we have national leadership that's willing to divide us and remind us how different we are and not unite us. I recently caught a piece on depression, and there was a study that came out of Europe that indicated that times of war we had less depression and suicide. But during the good times, the numbers spiked. And I found the study to be really intriguing because we have so much to be thankful for, and yet we have challenges. I personally believe it's much in how we frame our personal daily thoughts and that thankful heart. So as we move into this season in thanks, let us all be truly thankful for the things that unite us. Let us continue to work at those things that divide us. And when we take the time to realize we have more in common than we have apart. So if we're working together for that common humanity. So I wish everyone in Southfield a happy Thanksgiving. I'm grateful for you, for my employees who do so much every day, and for the opportunity to serve this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Zorn. Anything from our attorney?
Nothing from my office. Just wanted to wish you all and the Southfield community happy and safe Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. Welcome to your first meeting, right?
Thank you.
All right, very good. All right, Madam Clerk.
Nothing from the clerk's office other than wishing the city of Southfield a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. And do we have a treasurer here, planner, assessor, or engineer? Doesn't seem that way. All right. We don't have anything to schedule and no ordinances, so I'd like to entertain a motion to go back into closed session.
So moved.
Support.
We need a roll call on that.
Council President Cruz?
Yes.
Councilman Lucasi?
Yes.
Councilwoman Morris?
Yes.
Councilwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Councilman Mandelbaum?
Yes.
Councilman Brightwell?
Yes.
All right, and we'll go into closed session.